Hi guys, how are you? Thank you so much for joining my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider to subscribe and also like this video. By the way, please also register using the link below if you want to register for Easy Equities, Frank app, Fed Group, Luno, and other platforms. So do consider using those links below and then you'll be able to register and start investing. All right, today we are talking about dividends. What are dividends? Dividends is the money that you get from a company for just investing with them. Now, why would they give you this money? They give people this money because of two reasons. One, because they just want to thank you. After getting the profit, they're like, okay, you are our investor. We would like to give you this money. Thank you so much for that. So that's number one. Number two, of course, for them to draw more attention to their company and to attract more investors to invest in their company. So it is sort of a strategy for them, to attract more investors. But most importantly, it is to share the profit amongst all the investors. So it is just appreciating all of you guys as you have invested with it. Now, why the companies must pay you money? Simple, as I've said, because when it has made a profit and it's looking at its book and it's like, okay, how about appreciating the people who are investing with us? Now, there are two type of investors that I want to talk about: a growth investor and an income investor. But I'm gonna stick more on the income investor. Let's start with the growth investor. A growth investor is someone who puts in his money in that stock market, or who buys stock or companies or shares in companies, and hold those companies, and hoping that as the company grows, they are going to benefit from that. So when the company gains its value in shares, you will also gain your profit. Let me make a practical example. Let's say a company X, or maybe let's make an example with Bosso Techno. Bosso Techno is listed publicly, and its share price is selling at 5 rand. And then I buy Bosso Techno shares. Maybe I buy like 5, Bosso Techno shares. And then maybe after 3 months, Bosso Techno shares increases to 20 rand. So now it's no longer 50 rand, 5 rand, it's 20 rand. Now it has increased in shares. When it increases in shares, someone who buys at that particular time after 3 months would be buying in 20 rand a share. So that's how it will have increased the share. So me who invested earlier on when it was 5 rand, so that means I have now gained 15 rand per share. So now if I have like 5 shares, so 15 rand times 5, then you do the math, you know how much you have. So that's how the growth investor works. Now, a growth investor spends more time analyzing the market, being sure about the company that they're investing in, of course using different strategies to analyze companies and so forth, analysis and fundamental. But at the end of the day, the growth investor must have done a thorough research on a company before investing in. It is very important. It is a must. Now, let's talk about the growth investor, which this video is really more about. A growth investor is someone who gets money from companies through dividends and through profit as well, through the increments of share price, but mostly through the dividends. Now, how does they look at the market? So number one, they look at more of the companies that are paying dividends. That's number one. Number two, they are always on the market searching around and finding the company that would be paying out dividends anytime soon. Of course, they look at the GMs as well, general meetings of companies, annual general meetings. They look at all those things. They are always in the market because they have to be updated at all the time so that they can make money. Income investors can make money every month. Basically, they can make money from January to December. How so? By aligning companies that are paying dividends throughout that period. They know that Shoprite is paying in January, February is Capitec, March is Sasso, April it's another company, maybe Aspen, whatever. They know them. That's how they actually make money. But here's the tricky. The tricky is you need to have a lot of money. You need to invest a lot of money. And on my live session on TikTok, I spoke about starting maybe on 20,000 rand. 20,000 rand, it's not a lot of money, but you will get a little bit of profit there or dividend. But if you can have 100,000, 500,000 and above, you will make a decent, I promise you, a decent dividend there, especially if the company has smaller shares. Now let me explain that part, because that's the most important part about dividends. If a company has a higher share price, you don't get a lot of money. But if a company has just a very low share price, maybe less than 75 rand or so, that is not too bad. You will make a lot of money, considering that you bought, of course, a lot of shares with a lot of money. But if you buy big companies, for instance, if their share price goes for 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 a share price, that's a lot. So you're gonna have to put a lot of money if you wanna get money through dividends from such a company, because that company it's very difficult. And number two, when the time comes closer to the company paying the shares, you hope and pray that the share price goes down so that you will get a better dividend. Now let me tell you a calculation on how the dividend is calculated. They calculate your money, your shares, times the percentage that has been declared, or the amount that has been declared, divided by the number of shares the company holds at that particular time, the current share price of the company. Now that is very important. So can you see how important it is for you to invest in a company that does not have a lot of money, like in shares? Because if the company maybe pays, their share price is roughly around 3 rand, 5 rand, 20 rand and so forth, that on its own is a huge advantage for you, because that means you are going to make a lot of money from that particular company. However, this is a fact that most of the small caps companies, small capitalization companies, they do not really pay dividends. It is the middle and the large and the mega cap companies that pays out dividends. So it is unlikely that a company that pays that has a share price of 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent may not pay the dividend. But big companies can, because they've been in the game for a very long time in the public space. They know and they understand the game. Now you as an investor, what is more important for you to do is to understand the market, is to look at the companies and try to avoid losses at all cost. At every moment you take, avoid cost. How do you do that? You do that by analyzing the companies, by following the companies, their strategic planning. You look at their finances, you look at the people who are invested with this company, you look at so many strategies, you look at the industry that company is in, and many other factors. Then you know that, okay, this is a good company to invest in and I'm going to make a lot of money on this. Now in conclusion, please, if you want to be an income investor, yes, it's good, but you're going to have a lot of money upfront, a lump sum, so that you get like a good dividend from your company. But I don't want to discourage someone who doesn't have a lot of money. Yes, it's okay. You can start with your 50 rand, with your 100 rand, with your 25 rand, with your 50 rand, with whatever amount you can afford. You can start as a growth investor. Put money every month, put money every month. Even the dividend that you get, you take it back and reinvest it, maybe for 5 years to 10 years. Then that would be a lot of money. So those are two strategies that I want to talk about. Of course, there is another one, which is being a growth and income investor. So that person is also gaining from both, which is another strategy on its own. But please invest in companies that pays out dividend, especially if you have a lot of money. And lastly, on easy equities, there is easy properties. Easy properties, those properties that are there, they pay out dividends 4 times a year. So every quarter they pay out a dividend. If you can, please go buy those properties there, those virtual properties, and become an owner of a shareholder of a property, and you can make a lot of money. And what I like about those properties is that you don't manage them yourself, and they are almost guaranteed that you are going to get your money, your dividends, and then after 5 years you will obviously make money out of the money that you have put in, considering that the property itself will be gaining a value on every year or annually. So thank you so much. Please do like this video if you are still here, and please subscribe to my channel, and please follow me on my Instagram. Thank you so much. Much love. Bye.